So for me, the White River, it represents stability. I mean, it's my life. It's the one constant that I know that when I get in that boat, that we're gonna have a good day, fishing's gonna be good. Life is good when you're out there. My name is Luke Coffey, and I guide on the White River, north central Arkansas. So right now we are on mile 11, roughly, of the White River below Bull Shoals Dam. People who've been to the White River and know it for how we know it as guides here know that this is one of the best trout fisheries, if not the best trout fishery in the lower 48.
And this is kind of the flagship fishery for the whole state and quickly becoming one of the flagship fisheries for the whole South in terms of potential for catching large fish, numbers of fish, year-round fishing. When people think of tailwater fisheries in the South, the White River is quickly going to the top of the list. My name is Ben Levin, and go ahead, what's the next question? Sorry. Fishing here is year-round. There's about 92 miles of cold to coolish water on this river that are managed for trout.
Our water here is so nutrient rich. It'd be really hard to replicate a better tailwater fishery than this here. And everybody has the same question. They ask, why do the fish do so well here? The answer is just our water stays at between 49 and 55 degrees all year long. It's perfect for them.
The allure of this river has kept me coming back for many years. You can get your heart broken just about any day here, or you can catch the fish of your life here. So
There we go. There we go.
A lot of people, when they hear about the white and when they get on social media, normally the first thing they see are our brown trout. You have a legitimate chance of a fish of a lifetime almost as soon as you start fishing. And it really draws people here. There's so many of them, and they're scattered amongst the river, and they're everywhere and nowhere at the same time. Now, not to say that you come here and it's easy, because it's not. I mean, you're not just gonna come out here, get in the boat and hang a 30. You know, the elusive 30-inch fish it's elusive for a reason. You have such a good chance of accomplishing that goal here, and that's what keeps people coming back. And you'll be motoring up the river and people will see the biggest trout they've ever seen, and they're not even fishing yet. And they're like, is that a trout? Yeah, that was a trout.
Nice. Thank you, man.
Yeah, good cast.
I think the first thing that I notice and that most people notice who fish with us is just the increase in fishing pressure. You know, we're trying to have our cake and eat it too. It's a double-edged sword. You know, you want to bring awareness to the area, but that comes with, you know, more and more people fishing here. We're overdue, long overdue for an overhaul in our regulations. Changing some of the regulations on this river has been something that a lot of us have been pushing for over the years. There are some things in motion that I feel like are going to be for the betterment of this river. What I'm seeing right now is I'm seeing the fishing pressure increasing like this, and I'm seeing the conservation of this river lagging like this. And this is outrunning this right now. And the other thing that I do want to say is it also comes down to habitat as well. We're lucky to have relatively clean, cold water year-round, but our stream banks are disappearing at a rapid rate from stream bank development. So that's another thing to keep an eye on and to educate the public about.
How can we make this better? With all of this trout water that we have, roughly 80 to 90 miles, we have less than 3 miles of dedicated catch and release. I think this river would very much benefit if we expanded that catch and release area, get these fish just a little bit more chance to catch a break. There is statistical data that says that it's not quite as good as it used to be.
We're still figuring out some of the reasons for this, but the amount of fish in general, and especially the amount of trophy fish further down in the more downstream reaches of this river is down. It's down more than I've seen it in my lifetime. The tough days are adding up lately. We have a lot of good fishing here, but there's always ways we can increase quality of the experience on this river. We always want to be pushing for better fishing. We can always be pushing for better fishing, even on your best day. And that doesn't necessarily mean catching more fish or bigger fish. That just means caring for the fishery in a way that guarantees either similar or better fishing in the future.
My name is Colby Acuff. I've been fishing the White River with Luke Coffey out of the White River Trout Club for the last 4 days. I've always wanted to come to the White River, especially when I moved to the south. And one thing that shocked me about this river is that it is one of the best trout fisheries I have ever been to. I guided in northern Idaho, and that was an amazing trout stream, and I've fished all over Montana in all these amazing trout rivers. But what the White has, and truly what the White could have, is pretty unbelievable. And these trout, specifically the brown trout in this river, it'll break your heart. Oh shit! And make your day. Nice. These fish are absolutely phenomenal. And I think there's a lot of things about the White River that are really great, but the other thing about the White River that is crazy, it's more of the lack of fly fishing culture here compared to what I would think it would be with a trout stream like this. There's nothing wrong with how anyone fishes. Fish the way you want to, but when you're in a fishery, that is primarily meant for catch and keep is what's going to happen. And when your designated area is only about 3 miles total on whatever the 92 miles of this river, it's hard on the fish, specifically the rainbows. And I think if they let the rainbows grow a little bit, then they could actually be of size and they'd have one hell of a rainbow fishery. But regardless of all that, I was blown away by the White River and how healthy these trout are. I was blown away by Luke Coffey, our guide for the last 4 days. Incredible angler, incredible just boat captain in general. Had the pleasure of meeting all these people here that, one thing I've learned after, being a guide for a little bit and fishing a lot of waters is there's trout towns all over this country. And what makes a trout town isn't necessarily the trout. It is the fishery and the people around that fishery. And the White River has some really amazing people here that really care about this resource, that are, trying to make it better for generations, and I think that they will. I had a blast on the White River, and I can't wait to come back.